Hey guys, so I got a tag about change, AuthorTube change tag, I think it's called. I'm horrible because I watched the video. I shouldn't say I got a tag. There was a general tag to all new AuthorTubers, which was super cool. But I cannot for the life of me find the video, remember who did the video, and I'm just lost. So I can't even credit the person. Whoever did that tag, thank you so much. New AuthorTubers, we don't get tagged because nobody knows who the heck we are. So I appreciate that. I will locate it, and when I do, I will update this description on this video. And in the meantime, I thought the tag was super cool. This is not one of those tags where you answer like a list of questions, which I'm horrible at. I'm not good at that at all. I'm so good at being the interviewer, but the interviewee, not my gig. Anyway, this tag was about things that you change when change is good, basically. And I think it kind of goes with the theme of this whole our lives are changing around us. Life is not gonna be the same, all the way the same, really ever again. I mean, this is a pretty big deal, what's going on in the world right now. So this tag was basically a positivity tag about embracing change and the ways that change is good. Now, I gotta be honest, I am a person who resists change. I think most people really are. But I'm also a silver lining, Pollyanna type, upbeat, optimistic person who tends to take whatever the change is, find the good in it, capitalize on that, and keep on rolling. Because really, what choice do you have? Anyway, this tag relates to books. What we have changed in our books along the way, what changes we plan on making. I don't know, I may be getting this whole tag wrong, but guess what? That's what I'm going to talk about today in today's video. And I think it's a great topic. For me, I think an easier question would be, what haven't you changed? I am always changing. I am a very fluid author who I don't write to trends. I've never been able to do that. I write by mood, and it's my mood, not what the market dictates. Can't do that. Not going to happen. But with that said, I do change my marketing strategies based on what's going on out there in social media. I change even the way I interact. You know, I used to be the most approachable, PM me, PM me, PM me, DM me, ZM me, XM me. And then I realized, oh my God, I'm not getting anything done. Because I'm spending my life in these like private conversations, which are great and they're helpful to people. And usually it was people coming to me looking for book advice. And I realized there's got to be a way to change this. There's got to be a way to help more authors and kind of share what I know. Not that I know a ton, because honestly, I think you could be doing this for 40 years and still only know a small percent of what it takes to do well in indie publishing, in any kind of publishing. But one obvious change I made is I said, all right, if people want this kind of help and want these kind of videos, I'll start a YouTube channel. I'll get the hell over my fear of talking to people and cameras, which I have a major fear of, and I'll just do it. Because that way I can hit a bunch of topics for a bunch of people, the authors that I work with, in one spot. And when they're looking for that kind of information, here's the video, link, away we go. Win for them, win for me. Now I'm like not taking up as much time individually with people one by one. So in that way, in book world, a big change has happened and it's working out really well. I think it's been helpful to me. It's been helpful to authors that I work with and that I care about, and I want them to succeed. I don't have the time to talk brand individually with every single person, or to talk promotion individually with every single person. So this has been great, that change in that way. As for my personal books and writing, I think a lot of what's changed is that I have, as I've gone along, become more open-minded. I used to be very rigid in my beliefs about writing, about how it should be done, and there was a lot of shoulda, coulda, like, very, like, this is how we roll kind of statements. And that worked for me for a while. And then life happened. Release dates got missed, not by me, but by publishers that I was working with, or I'd get a cover and go, oh my God, that's not even happening to my life, but it is, it really is. And have to work with that cover because I'm not the one to make a fuss. I don't believe in that. I think a cover's up to a publisher. Shouldn't be, I get 700 adjustments and changes. I've never asked for that. I've had so many covers that I hated. But then on the flip side, as a publisher, I let people have a lot of input because I know how that feels to live with a cover you hate. Regardless, I'm rambling as usual. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I, along the way, have become more open-minded with how I move about book world. I'm more open-minded about things I will try. I've always been adventurous. I've always been up for anything. But I'm not so black and white thinking anymore. I'm much more, well, that could work, or let's try it. You know, I used to be very anti-KU. I'm still not really a fan of KU. However, I'm listing books in KU because right now, I think that's where the readers are because everybody's locked down. Nobody's buying the new books because they can get free books all over the place. So at least the KU readers, we've got a chance of getting page reads. So one thing that's changed about me is that my rigid thinking and my firm rules about I will do it this way and this is the only right way are gone. I am so much more open-minded, and honestly, it's so much better for me mentally to be there. It's a healthier place to be, just like in regular life, you know? When you can kind of roll with things, you're happier, and in that way I am. But the same applies for my books. I used to be a plotster. Extremely, like, detailed outlines, notebooks for every book I did. The whole plan written right there. And one day, I strayed from the plan, changed my life. I was the reader now of my own book. It was the coolest experience because I had forgotten how much I love to read. And for me, that's sad. That's what made me into an author. Reading was literally one of the 3 words I'd probably use to describe the best moments in my childhood. My favorite memories come from books and characters that I still have with me in, you know, here and in my brain. And I mean, Pippi Longstocking for life. Ramona Quimby, I feel ya. Beverly Cleary was like my personal savior. I can't even express how much books affected my life as a kid. And along the way, because I was in this rush to write all the words, I forgot to read them too, and that was a mistake. So another thing that's changed is I make time for reading now. In the beginning of my book world experience, I didn't do that as much. I'm also making a ton of changes right now as we speak. I am someone who generally has at least a dozen whips at a time. I'm down to 5, and I'm only working on them 2 at a time now. I used to work on like 3 or 4 at a time. I am slowing down and kind of assessing where I am right now, which is something I've done in the past. There was a period after I wrote Wave to Papa, which was published with Limitless in 2016, where I said I have to take a break. And that was only after my 2nd book. And I took a 6-month hiatus from writing. During that time, I was still doing writerly things. I still had a notebook everywhere I went, that's always going to be the case. I like panic. I have asthma. When I don't have my inhaler, I'm like freaked out. Same thing with books. Notebooks. If I don't have my notebook with me, I'm freaked out. Like, oh my God, what if something comes to me? I won't have anywhere to write it down. I am one to write all over my arms, my body. I will whip up a skirt and write on my thigh. If I come up with a story idea and I don't have a notebook, it's just who I am. I've been a writer all along. And I kind of got into those habits as a journalist. You know, sometimes you don't know what a source is going to call, and if that paper's not in front of you, and they're calling on a cell phone, and you're, you know, going out to get the mail, you're going to write that wherever you can if you've got a pen. So it's the same sort of thing. That's how I was with writing outlines and stuff originally. Now it's just sort of in notebooks, and I was still doing that during that period after Wave to Papa. However, I needed that break. After I took that break, though, there was a 5-year period where I didn't allow myself any breaks. I got burnt out, and in the meantime, I'm trying to become a publisher and work with new authors and try to help them get their footing. And somewhere in all that, change happened. I said, enough. I did get sick. It's not a secret to those I'm close to that I got really, really sick. And it took a while to get better. There's a lot of stress. You're trying to work, start a business, keep writing. I wasn't, I'm just going to publish people and stop writing my own stuff. I was doing literally the equivalent of 3 full-time jobs and mad at myself when I slept for more than 3 hours a night. That was so unhealthy. It was ridiculous. So another thing that's changed is that now I make myself sleep at least 5 hours a day. I know it sounds bad, but trust me, it's a major improvement. And it's been significantly helpful to me health-wise, but also mentally. I think it's bringing back more quality to my words. I'm more intentional with the way I write. My releases will slow down because of this. Am I upset about it? Oh yeah. It infuriates me. I feel like, what's wrong with you? You did it just fine for 5 years and now you can't. Are you getting old? What is the problem? But no, that's not true. That's just that inner critic that we all have being mean. And mine is vicious. So part of change for me has been, hey, it's okay to do other bookish things instead of releasing a book every month. You are allowed to say, I want to get to know people in different circles. I want to be on other platforms. I want to make new reader connections. I want to write under a new pen name and not tell anyone. That's allowed. And that's happening. Because sometimes it's good to separate. Stay connected. This is the differentiation I write about a lot in my books. A healthy person is differentiated. That means you're staying connected to your roots. For me, that's my home base on Facebook. Self-defined, you know who you are and you know where you're going. Working on that because I'm not sure where I'm going these days. And something else. Good job, therapist. What is the third one? Connectedness, self-definition, boundaries. And boundaries are what I'm talking about with don't get time sucked into this hole of DMs and PMs and everyone else is off sleeping and you're not because now you have your own work to do. So I've made a huge change in how I write and my process. I've also given myself permission to be a pantster, which is where my heart is. I want to be a reader again. And how do you become a reader again? You surprise yourself as you write. And I love it. And I will never go back to plotting. Ever. I would rather do 10 revisions to find those holes than outline ever again. Won't happen. Now, obviously, I'm not stupid. And I understand that if I decide, hey, I want to submit this to so-and-so, and so-and-so requires a long synopsis, I'm going to have to do it. But guess what? I'm going to write that book first, and I'm going to go back and hit the long synopsis. I'm not going to do what I used to do, which is outline then synopsis. So what have I changed? Oh, everything. What haven't I changed? I still love books. I still love to read. I will never quit, no matter how hard it gets. In indie, in traditional publishing, no matter how vicious it gets. Because it can be. I know there are great people, support systems, networks, readers. My tribe. That's what I call it. Well, I want to expand that tribe. I'm proud of the work that I've done, and that is really big that I can say that because I am hard on myself, really hard. And that's new too. I'm proud of how far I've come. I'm excited for where I'm headed, even though that path is I'm not real sure. But I'm also not afraid to be transparent about that. And I think for the first time in 6 years, I'm in a place where I can say, I don't know, and be okay with that. And for me, that is the biggest change, because it's not just my change in book life. It's a change for me as a person that's never been okay with me. I want answers. I'm a journalist. I want answers. And to fix it, I'm a therapist. Well, guess what? Now I'm an author. And it's okay to not know the ending. It'll be happy. I know that. Why? Because I'm the author. And I'm going to make sure it's happy. Other than that, who the hell cares? Let's throw in some twists. Make the book interesting. Surprise yourself. That's my plan. Those are my changes. Whoever tagged me, I'm going to find you. I don't know where, how. I will find you. Thank you so much for putting out that tag. Guys, I hope you guys are having some positive changes. I hope you're learning a lot through this weird time in the world and finding those silver linings, because they are there. I don't know about you, but I've accepted this new life, new normal. Do I love it? No. Change is hard, but it can be good too. Until next time, peace, love, books, and crazy.